Hello. Welcome to another video. Let's talk about the PlayStation State of Play. I cannot stress this one enough. This has clearly been, in recent memory at least, the most any sort of announcement of games thing where it literally was saved by the bell. It was literally saved by the very last kind of game kind of thing. It's weird too because it feels like Xbox and PlayStation kind of have gaming announcement type stuff throughout the year now. I think in the summer, I think both of them kind of have like a summer showcase, which I would consider that's their own type of personal E3 type of situation, which you'd expect that to be the biggest. It does get kind of tough to really have expectations with the sporadic state of play or the sporadic Xbox game showcase, whatever they're called. I fell down a bad little thought process that I expected too much out of this one. This is the first time that I've actually had this thought. It's crazy. It just finally happened now. I've heard it so many times. This time I was convinced that there was going to be a Bloodborne announcement. I don't know why. I saw Astro Bot, the game, have like a skin kind of thing with it. I don't know if that's real or not. It just made me think they're doing it. It's gonna happen. It's gonna blow people away. And they're not making a big deal of it really just because they want to keep it hush hush. Didn't happen. I've never played Bloodborne either. It's sitting over in there. I can see it from here. Never played it. We'll probably play it at some point. But there was no port, there's no remaster, there's no nothing. It's crazy to me because they made a PS5 remaster of Demon Souls, which good for all I've heard, but is definitely smaller and not as kind of talked about as Bloodborne, and they have Bloodborne only on PlayStation. My only thought is somehow with FromSoft or whatever, there's some kind of disconnect bullshit in the fact of we're not making this. I don't know. That's my only explanation, is that's the hurdle that isn't being crossed. Because you just have to expect that it would, one, sell well, two, it would play really well. That was my big disappointment from what I was expecting going into it. That was just the one thing that I was like, they're going to do it and it's going to be goddamn awesome. I didn't have the Silk Song expectations. I didn't have the expectation of the announcement that was at the end that I'm going to talk about in a minute. But yeah, I don't know. It just seems weird, personally, just that there's so many of these now, just kind of littered throughout the year. I enjoy it. I'm happy about it. Nintendo does borderline more of them, but I almost feel like Nintendo's games feels like there's more games that are relevant that are shown. Not shitting on any games that were announced or shown off. It just seemed like there was a lot of games that I personally did not really have a lot of interest in. But to skip all of the state of play for now, the big finale, it definitely needed to have a big finale, and boy did it. And that's a Ghost of Tsushima sequel. It is not Ghost of Tsushima 2. It is Ghost of Yotei, if I had to guess how that word is pronounced. I haven't heard anyone say it. I've read it a lot of times, and in my head it's Yotei. I could be butchering that, so I am sorry. But I was not expecting the sequel to be announced today, mainly because it feels like a bigger game than to announce in something like this. I don't know why. That's just my thought. That announcement feels more in line for something like the summer showcase type of thing for Sony, the big state of play, or bigger one, I should say. And they really try to take the show, take the whole thing with it, I'm expecting they'll probably have something really big at the gaming awards now that's bigger than this, just for the fact that that's the big place where it's listen, we're here to make people talk about PlayStation kind of thing. I think it would have done it. Realistic. Ghost of Tsushima is so beloved. It's such a just good game. Yeah, it's terrible because my last video I literally talked about all the games I want to play. And now watching that, I've never finished Ghost of Tsushima. I got through a good chunk. It's a big open world game, so it gets, At times the pacing makes it feel kind of a drag for me personally. Every open world game feels like that for me. That's not an indictment on the game. But the game is beautiful. It's so just like grounded. The combat's good. Like so much of the game is well made. And it's by one of Sony's like one of the upper echelon studios, Sucker Punch at Sony. Like these kind of like Sony and Xbox and they have their upper echelon kind of developers that are in charge of the big titles. That's pretty much all they do. They're going to make it and it's going to be good every time. And if they make a new IP, the expectation is that it's going to be really good. This is one of those cases. This is one of Sony's like Golden Child series that just happened. So it's not like been around forever. Ghost of Tsushima, borderline should have won Game of the Year. But with the sequel for this, they are going completely different story. Jin Sakai is not in this game. I'm pretty sure, I saw this on Twitter. I'm not 100% sure, but it makes sense to me. It had a date in the trailer of like 1624 or something like that. And I'm pretty sure the first game takes place in like the 1200s. Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima, feudal Japan known as Kamakura era, specifically in the year 1274. Not in it. This man's not 400 years old. I'm sorry. No characters that's in the first game is going to be in this. Hail Mary, there could be some BS relative of him. I think that would be a little weird. I think it would be better if they did that. If they didn't say that. If they literally just have it as like this kind of ominous thing, and like maybe have people speculate that they're related type of, you get buzz around it for doing stuff like that. But I think with 400, like you have to do completely different. And I'm pretty sure they tweeted basically new protagonist and completely new story. I have faith it's going to be good. Just realistically, the first one, the story is good, the gameplay and everything, like the gameplay, how it looks, all this, I expect that to be great. Hopefully I get to play it. Lord knows. But it is sad that Jin is not going to be in this. I liked him. Some people didn't really like him as main character just because he's like, I don't know. He has personality, but it's not like out like this big charismatic person. And the new protagonist's name is Atsu. Not certain how that's pronounced. I think it's going to be an uphill battle no matter what with the new protagonist. It's the sequel game. People love the first one. So it's no matter what, it's going to be hard. Obviously, there's going to be areas on the internet that are all, oh, it's a girl, all this bullshit. It's going to happen. I think if the game's good, story's good, all this stuff, good character development, stuff like that, who fucking cares? If it's a good game and good characters, they build the story, all this kind of stuff, it's going to be received just as well as the other ones. What am I doing? Having a goddamn stroke? As the first game, which I'm hoping for. But other than that big news that literally stole the whole show, other than that, there was like smaller stuff that was kind of announced. There's an Astrobot kind of DLC update that's free, which is good. There was a new game, Hell Is Us, I think it is. Looks kind of interesting, kind of scary, but kind of not, kind of actiony. So that, hopefully that's good. Looked kind of interesting, a little messed up in the head kind of stuff. And then I was wrong when I said something about the Zero Dawn or Forbidden West remaster. There's actually a Zero Dawn remaster for PS5. That makes more sense, obviously, but to me, who cares? I don't know. PlayStation has such a lead in like video game industry right now. It feels like all they have to do is not fuck up, and just remastering games that either sell well, reviewed well, is just going to keep them where they are to make new games when they have to. That's just kind of what it feels like. And other than that, they talked a little bit more about PS5 Pro and the upgraded game, stuff like that. Oh well. And it seemed like the VR got some actual stuff around it. I don't know, because I'll probably never play VR my entire life. But that was the PlayStation State of Play. It was relatively dull. Oh, and they had a lot of Monster Hunter Wilds stuff, which looked interesting. So that was fun too. But seemed like a relatively dull show until the end. That was like the big holy shit moment. Was great. that part was great. I'm really looking forward to seeing like more of the game, and if it's going to be a lot of the same, just kind of brought over, or how much actual changes are going to happen with Ghost of Yotei, I guess. But that's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Consider leaving a like if you enjoyed. Consider subscribing. Helps the channel a bunch. Thank you for all the love and support in the recent videos. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.